Hey, what's up guys, Evo94 back with another action figure review, and today we are looking at the Hasbro Marvel Legends, the Spider-Man Retro Vintage Wave. This is Marvel's Kingpin. So this is a solo release similar to a deluxe release, just like the Deluxe War Machine or the Deluxe Apocalypse figure. But this time it is of Kingpin, and we get a more classic comic book 90s retro Spider-Man version of him. So he comes in the same retro card as our wave 1 of Retro Spider-Man, so it goes nicely with those figures if you're a mint on card collector. He is in a pretty big box. On the back side of the box, we get the rest of the retro wave here. We have Spider-Man, Peter Parker, Green Goblin, Gwen Stacy, Daredevil, and Electro. I have reviewed all of these figures. If you so happen to have missed any of those reviews, be sure to check them out. We also do get a read-up in the back, and it says, Wilson Fisk ruthlessly rules New York City's underworld with cunning and a keen intellect. And I won't be able to get everything in frame, but just to get an idea of how big the package is, you can see it there next to Spider-Man. I will post better pictures showing the entire thing on my Instagram, so check out my Instagram if you want to see that. And if you own the 80th anniversary vintage carded Hulk, which was the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, I believe, it's the same exact size. The card is the same size and everything. Don't forget, if you are interested in this figure, be sure to check out the link down below in the description where you guys can order yourself one from BigBadToyStore.com. So this figure is about 95% the same as our Build-A-Figure Kingpin. Obviously, the paint is part of that 5% that is different, and we get actual retooling here. So this is different. This wasn't part of the original Kingpin. We had a tie and just a regular shirt underneath, but this time I don't even know what to describe that, but there's that there. Everything else is the same, even the vest. They just painted the vest differently, and that's it. So they painted the pants purple, the vest this yellowish orange color, which gives it that retro look, of course, from the 90s. And then they painted the little handkerchief right here red. So that is all different. And then of course we get some battle damage on the screaming, yelling head. So upon further inspection, we can see the details that went into the head sculpt. This is the same head sculpt, but they changed it up a bit here by adding some scratches, some scars, some blood. A little bit of blood is just a red line, but I'll take it. It looks good, and we got a bruised eye, or a black eye if you want to call it that, even though it's red. I guess they should have made his eyeball red like they did for the Punisher. But I think it looks good. It makes it different, changes it up a bit, and you're not stuck with the same exact face that your Build-A-Figure Kingpin came with. And if you have that Kingpin, then you can use the alternate head there and put on a normal yelling head onto this one if you don't want it all scarred up. So here's a closer look at the torso there. You can see the new blue piece around his neck. I'm probably gonna get told down in the comments what it's called, so I'd appreciate whoever lets me know what that is called. But here you can see how they painted the vest inside yellow. You can see the sleeves are white, and you could actually, I guess, technically remove the soft rubber piece, which would be the jacket, and have him just wearing the vest, even though the sleeves are part of the jacket, and you can clearly see that by the buttons there. I think you can still kind of pull that off. There's the red handkerchief, and of course this is all white, so it's gonna get dirty. It's actually kind of dirty out of the package. It seems like these white figures like Moon Knight and this Kingpin are coming out of the factory dirty, so whether or not they're wearing gloves seems like it's not the clean or the cleanest area. So the arms are the ones that I can kind of see some dirt on there, so I might have to clean it. But definitely recommend cleaning your hands before handling this figure. Here are the pants and then these shoes. So all this is sculpted the same. If you own the Kingpin Build-A-Figure, you know what to expect here. There's the ring on the pinky there. So here he is with the regular head. This comes included, of course. This is the same sculpt as the Build-A-Figure. The Build-A-Figure actually had grayish eyebrows, so I guess this means this version of Kingpin is a younger version, perhaps? I don't know. And here's just a quick comparison of the eyebrows. So lastly, he comes with his cane with the diamond on top. This is exactly the same as the one from the Build-A-Figure, except I think this stick is brownish, and the one from the Build-A-Figure is just completely black, with still the gold top. So it's not much of a difference there, but all he comes with is the alternate head and the cane here. So I really don't have to run through the articulation of this figure. If you own the Build-A-Figure, you know what to expect. It's going to be exactly the same. I'm still going to go ahead and run through the articulation just in case somebody maybe skipped out on the Build-A-Figure. I know Build-A-Figures are a little bit less accessible since they do require you to buy 6 to 8 figures to complete. So let's just go through it real quick. Nothing changes here. So the head moves up and down. It's on the ball jointed hinge. It goes left and right like this. Obviously, he won't look down much because of this new neck piece here. The arms are going to go up and they're going to go down, so all the way around. In and out about this far, so it's some good range there. There is no bicep swivel, but we get a single jointed elbow that pretty much hits a 90-degree bend almost. And then we get a swivel at the elbow, swivel at the wrist with a regular hinge on both wrists. And then we have a diaphragm joint at the torso, so the torso will swivel left and right. It's going to bend back. It's like a little ball joint there, and forward slightly, nothing crazy. And then the legs are going to kick forward about this far, which also isn't a crazy amount compared to other characters, but it's good enough for Kingpin. And back, in and out about this far. We get a thigh swivel, a single jointed knee that only bends this much right here. It will swivel at the knee. We get the hinge at the ankle and the rocker at the ankle right here. There is no problem with Kingpin holding his cane, just like the Build-A-Figure, it's all good there. It does fit a little loose when you get down to the skinny area of it, which makes sense, so you just want to choke up all the way up here. And of course the hand is sculpted to where he can grab it from the diamond and pose it on the ground. So there's a look at him without the jacket piece, which is this one right here. Again, the arms are sculpted to have the jacket sleeves, so it doesn't really work 100%, but maybe you can pose him in the back of your shelf. I don't know. You know, the farther away it is, the less noticeable it is, obviously, but when you get up close to it, you can tell it's not, you know, it's it's the jacket sleeves. And if you get really close to it, you will see that the whites don't even match 100%. This is a lot brighter here compared to the jacket sleeve. So here's a look at the Kingpin Build-A-Figure on the right side, next to the new single release deluxe version of Kingpin. You can see here it's using the exact same body mold, the same chest piece, except for that neck chest piece right there. It's different. They removed the tie, and then the vest is the same but just painted differently, and everything else is just painted differently. So I did mention and I did show you guys the gray eyebrows on the Build-A-Figure and then the black ones on the new one there. You can obviously swap out the heads, so if you prefer black eyebrows on your Build-A-Figure, then go ahead. And also if you do have the open mouth version, which is non-battle damage on the Build-A-Figure, then you can swap those around as well. There's just a quick look at the Build-A-Figure using the battle damage head that came with this Kingpin. So I am not a big of enough Kingpin fan to have two Kingpin figures that are pretty much 90% identical in my collection. So this is a perfect opportunity for me to just use my original Build-A-Figure Kingpin for Shadow King. I was actually going to build a second Build-A-Figure Kingpin to make a Shadow King, but now I don't have to. Now I can just use that body, put the Shadow King head on that, and just keep that Shadow King, and now this is my Kingpin now. I definitely do like the retro 90s look of him a lot more. And I'm sure I will get asked, so I'll put on the Shadow King head, and it fits on perfectly as we would expect it to fit. So if for whatever reason you want Shadow King head on this body, then go for it. So I'll put a few figures from the retro vintage wave. I'll put in the Spider-Man and the Daredevil figure. They seem to be some of the favorites in the wave, and I think they all look great. I'm super excited for what else they do. I'm sure this is not the only wave they'll do. I'm pretty sure they'll do a wave 2 and possibly a wave 3 of these retro 90s Spider-Man. There's just, I think there's much more they could do, a lot more villains, and obviously we definitely need a J. Jonah Jameson. Hopefully come this time next year, I'll be here reviewing those. Next is some other more random legends with the 80th anniversary Stan Lee and Iron Man. Next is some Gameverse legends. I'll throw in the Captain America and the Miss Marvel. Next to some randos, we have the Star Wars The Black Series Luke Skywalker and Yoda, and then we have the G.I. Joe Classified Destro. Throw in a Build-A-Figure. Here is the Sugar Man Build-A-Figure. Well, that's about it, guys. There is my review of the Marvel Legends Retro Spider-Man Vintage Wave Deluxe Kingpin figure. So this is nothing new to us. We've gotten Build-A-Figures released as a single release before. It's been a trend lately, and I don't mind it at all. They've changed something. It looks completely different. It's a different outfit, so I am okay with it. It's not just a simple re-release of the exact same thing. It looks a lot more retro and vintage, and I like this Kingpin a lot more than that modern looking Kingpin, but at least you have those two options in case you like the modern looking one more. I do wish that this release came with maybe an exclusive head, something different. I know it kind of does with the battle damage head, but it's the same sculpt. I'm more referring to a different facial expression as an exclusive head for this release to give some people more of an incentive to purchase another Kingpin. But I think a lot of people are going to end up like me and purchase it anyways, because now we don't have to build another Kingpin Build-A-Figure, go through that process of getting all those figures or buying to build another one to make a Shadow King. So now I can simply put Shadow King's head onto my Kingpin Build-A-Figure. I'm glad I never got around to buying and building a second Kingpin because this one came out. So happy about that. I think this looks good and I'm pretty happy with it. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Leave a like, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and as always, have a great day. Bye.
That's crispy.